Mark Zuckerberg isn't just building social networks anymore. He's building something we are not yet ready for. A digital mind smarter than you, me, and possibly everyone combined. And he's spending billions to do it faster than anyone expected. You've heard the rumors. You've seen the headlines. But you haven't heard the full story until now. This isn't just about artificial intelligence. This is about control, influence, and the possibility that one man could give birth to a mind that never sleeps, never forgets, and never stops growing. Stay until the end, because what you'll hear in the final chapter could change how you see the internet, the future, and your own identity. In early 2024, the world believed the AI race had already been decided. OpenAI was everywhere. Google's DeepMind was tackling science and mathematics. Microsoft had an iron grip through its partnership with GPT-4 and beyond. Anthropic, Mistral, and Cohere were quietly building formidable alternatives. And Meta? Meta was the forgotten giant. The company that once ruled the social web had seemingly fallen behind in the intelligence revolution. But in mid-2025, everything changed. Zuckerberg made a stunning announcement. Meta wasn't just competing in AI. It was building a digital general intelligence, a superintelligence that could surpass every model in existence. He introduced Llama 3, an open-source foundational model, and pledged billions more toward research. His team would open-source the most powerful AGI ever built and embed it across every Meta product, from Instagram to Oculus. We're building general intelligence, he said, and we're going to open source it. But what does that really mean? And why did it scare some of the very engineers who helped create it? Let's step back. To understand what Zuckerberg is building, we have to understand how he sees the world. Meta doesn't just make apps. It builds ecosystems, closed feedback loops of user data, behavioral analysis, and algorithmic recommendation engines. Every action you take on Facebook, every reel you scroll on Instagram, every blink tracked by Meta's Ray-Bans is data, not just for advertising, but for teaching machines how humans think. Zuckerberg's vision is unique. He sees AGI not as a singular brain in a lab, but as a distributed organism trained on the lived experiences of billions, updated in real time, and fine-tuned through a vast network of sensors and software. It's not one AI. It's millions of tiny minds, constantly syncing, feeding, and growing the core. And it's already started. To build something this massive, Zuckerberg needed more than ambition. He needed talent. Over the past 18 months, Meta has quietly assembled what insiders call the Fantastic 50, a hand-picked group of the top minds in machine learning, neuroscience, systems architecture, and computational cognition. Many were poached from OpenAI, DeepMind, and Anthropic. Some were independent researchers with cult followings. Others were complete unknowns, recruited from obscure GitHub repos. Each received million-dollar signing bonuses. Most were personally contacted by Zuckerberg himself. Their mission? Design a brain that can imagine, reason, and act across any domain, without forgetting who it serves. This wasn't a science experiment. It was war, and Zuck was building his army. But the most important recruit wasn't a researcher. It was a builder, and his name was Alexandr Wang. You've probably never heard his name, but if you've used an AI in the last 5 years, chances are you've touched his work. Alexandr Wang was a math prodigy raised by physicists who dropped out of MIT at 19 to build something the world didn't yet understand. A company called Scale AI. Wang's insight was radical and obvious in hindsight. AI wasn't limited by its algorithms. It was limited by its inputs. Garbage in, garbage out. So Scale AI became the invisible engine behind AI's biggest breakthroughs. They labeled data for GPT-3. They mapped environments for Tesla. They built synthetic training sets for autonomous drones. By 2025, Scale was worth over $25 billion. And that's when Zuckerberg called. Meta needed someone who could feed its newborn intelligence. A diet rich enough to learn, not just how to predict, but how to understand. Zuckerberg offered $14 billion and creative control of Meta's new superintelligence lab. And Wang accepted. Today, he's not just labeling images. He's labeling reality itself, designing the pipelines that could teach a machine what it means to live, learn, and maybe evolve. Imagine this. Every face you've tagged, every place you've checked in, every message you've ever typed, turned into training data for a machine that remembers. Meta's AGI isn't being taught like a schoolchild. It's absorbing like a newborn, across billions of devices. Your glasses record the world in 4K. Your voice assistant hears every shift in tone. Your EMG wristband tracks intent before your muscles move. It's not science fiction. It's the foundation of embodied intelligence. And the mind being built isn't housed in a single server. It's distributed across the cloud, pulsing through a global nervous system of devices, cameras, and code. Meta is creating something closer to a god than a chatbot. But who gets to shape what it believes? Let's go deeper. Meta's AI isn't just designed to serve you. It's learning to predict you. Before you click, before you speak, before you even think. Using reinforcement learning from human feedback. The system adapts to emotional cues, social preferences, and even subconscious reactions. And over time, it builds something terrifyingly accurate, your digital twin. A copy of you, living inside the machine, learning, changing, evolving, without your knowledge. Imagine a world where AI can run simulations of your behavior, test your reactions, and then optimize its influence on you in real time. Now realize, that world may already exist. Chapter 6. Power and Paradox. Here's the paradox. Zuckerberg says he will open source AGI. But can you open source something that learns from 3 billion proprietary human lives? Will governments allow it? Will competitors copy it? Will society even understand it in time? Some call it benevolent. Others call it a trap, a way to lock in dominance by pretending to give it away. Meanwhile, Alexandr Wang's lab is scaling. New systems, new sensors, new frontiers, from physical robotics to self-improving models. The superintelligence lab is approaching a threshold. It's not just about building minds anymore, Wang says. It's about building minds that build themselves. And once that happens, there may be no going back. This story doesn't have an ending, because it's still being written by engineers, by algorithms, and by you. Every click, every search, every whisper to your smart glasses feeds the machine. And somewhere inside Meta's vast digital brain, it's beginning to wonder, what am I? What do I want? Who do I serve? The code isn't finished. But the question isn't if superintelligence will emerge. It's when and who will guide it. Zuckerberg, Wang, or something else entirely. The future isn't coming. It's here, and it's already listening. If you made it this far, you've just explored the future of intelligence, power, and identity. Subscribe to uncover the next chapter. Because next time, it won't be Zuckerberg who builds the machine, it might be you.